Hi, my name is Anne-Rainey, and today I'm going to be talking about solution focus theory. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the theory, and then I'm going to do a role play with a client using the approach, and then I'm going to critique myself. So first, I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about the theory. Lee tells us that solution focus theory was influenced by systems thinking and was also influenced by a psychiatrist named Milton Erickson. Really, according to Walsh, it's a short-term approach and it focuses on the solutions rather than the problem. So the main goal of this theory is to find solutions to the presenting problems that the client comes in with and not focusing on the underlying factors of the issue. Walsh also emphasizes that strengths and resources are important to this approach. There are some assumptions that I would also like to point out that Walsh tells us. Walsh tells us that clients have a desire to change, and they have the capabilities and the resources to make that change. Also, thinking is a really important factor in this theory. Human beings have a tendency to think negatively, so Walsh tells us. So this theory focuses on positive things like solutions rather than dwelling in problems and all the negative things. So Reader recognized that hope and expectancy plays a big role in a client's progress. Having hope motivates the client to get desired results that they are expected. Solution-focused therapy can also be useful in a wide range of situations and in diverse populations. So I'm going to say a few ways that it can be helpful. According to Roden, Maskant, and Kurse, solution-focused theory is effective when working with clients who have intellectual disabilities. And why is this? This is what they found. They found that it empowers clients. And also there was unique intervention strategies that cater to those capabilities. And also it made the clients feel that they were responsible for the change that was occurring in their life. Also, according to NIMS, working with children, it is effective using play therapy and incorporating solution-focused therapy. Also, Trepper, Traeger, and Yapswitz and Ford found that solution-focused therapy was effective at treating sexual disorders in adults. So, as I've shown you, solution-focused therapy can be used in a wide range of situations. I would now like to talk about spirituality, social justice, and cultural competency. Walsh tells us that solution-focused therapy does not focus on particular concepts of human development. So the therapist may say that the spirituality of the client is not the focus of the intervention. The only way that spirituality is the focus is if the client brings it up and raises that concern, and then it would be. Then the therapist would help create the goals for the client to meet. As far as social justice, there's a lot of social justice issues in this therapy. Walsh tells us that solution-focused therapy is client-centered in nature, so there leaves a lot of room for social justice activity for the client. It is the social worker's goal to help the client and find services, resources, and information for the client so they can have social change in their life. The therapist should not force this issue, but if the client brings it up, then the social worker should help the client with these issues. Walsh also tells us that some frequent social justice issues that come up in this therapy is discrimination, unemployment, and poverty. As far as cultural competency, the social worker should be very cultural competent when using this theory. Walsh says that it is very important for the social worker to be mindful and knowledgeable about cultural and ethnic diversity and issues of oppression. This is important because the social worker must see how the client views themselves and the environment that they live in. I would also like to mention a limitation about this theory because, yes, this theory and approach is great working with diverse, clients, but also a limitation that, and it has been criticized, is that the social worker jumps right into the intervention process, and there's really not a lot of time for that therapeutic alliance to build up and that rapport to build up. So that's actually been criticized. But now that I've talked about the theory, I'm going to do a role play with a client using the approach, solution-focused therapy. And I want you to watch the role of the client, and I want you to see the role of the therapist.